Kane, it's 1-0. We're fucking down. 13th in the championship. The takeover happened as I said it would. People will be. Oh, when have we got Leeds? Mage, yeah. Now then, people, and welcome back to the Just Your Football Show. I am absolutely buzzing because what a performance from Leeds United with Vidal. Look, at times there were some exceptional performances out there, individual brilliance from the likes of Rutter, from the likes of Somerville at times. I thought Bamford was very, very good today. Special mention, of course, to my main man, Archie Gray, who saved the day because it looked like Adam Idaho was going to equalise for them. But when you look at it, over the course of 90 minutes, Leeds United more than deserved their victory. And that moves us, folks, within 2 points of the top two. We had Saint statistics saying, Leeds United, look out of it now. Get it up, ya, Saint statistics. We had Norwich fans telling us, you need to watch out for Johnny Rowe. It's going to be a difficult afternoon. Well, guess what? He got put in the bin by Junior Firpo, who only a couple of weeks ago we said couldn't defend. Junior Firpo emptied his pockets and Johnny Rowe dropped out. Johnny Rowe dropped out, so get that up, you. Get that up, you. Leeds United have won the game, and what a fantastic 3 points it is. And we now go to Bristol City next Friday, and if we win that game, we're in the top two. So all the naysayers, all this talk of Daniel Farkerball's rubbish, did you watch some of the football that was on display? Did you watch it? You know, the one where Bamford went for the overhead kick? If we score that, I'll do that again. Hang on. There you go. If we score that, it's an unreal goal. And Patrick Bamford's header, by the way. The ball from Dan James, I hope he's okay. I hope Archie Gray's okay. Because, you know, we're now going to need to dip into the market, but that's fine. You know, we've only got one more league game, and that's next Friday. The cup, we're going to make changes anyway. But listen, we're here to celebrate tonight's result. And of course, we've got some amazing content creators who are going to be able to come and join us and share that with us. Before I bring them in, please do smash a like on the video. We've got 1,500 people already here. Make sure you check out the fantastic content creators that are going to join us as well. Who the F is Johnny Rowe, John? I'd love to know. Let's bring them in. First of all, we've got Joe Blackburn, followed by my main man, Luke from Ought to Know Better. Joe, you were first. Talk to me. How happy are you with that performance, my man?
My pulse isn't down from the triple digits yet, which is nice.
I'm sweating my tits off, bro. I can't lie to you. I'm sweaty.
I was convinced in the last minute when the referee, when we had a 3-on-none somehow, and we were basically robbed of a goal, I was convinced they were going to score in that last minute, purely because we'd just been basically stopped from scoring a goal, which was an absolute pain. But we managed to get through it. We managed a nice, staunch defensive effort. We've proven that Firpo can defend, that Archie Gray can defend, even though both of them have been questioned a little bit from time to time because they like to get up a little bit more.
As well, by Junior, I will hold my hands up.
This is where I can be a little bit smug and say that, like, I've always said that Firpo's not too bad. I've always quite liked Pat Bamford, but there we go. It's fine. That is a 3 points that if we don't get and we don't go up at the end of the season, we'll see it as pivotal. And if we do go up, we'll look at it and go, that match was 2 points that we desperately needed. And the fact that we were able to get through it is a massive achievement, especially considering that weird part in the second half where for some reason we just couldn't get hold of the ball. And they were just doing that weird horseshoe of doom stuff, passing it around, doing basically what we do and trying to find their way into a gap. But they don't do it as well as we do because we defend really well and we attack really well. And I think quality really showed in this one.
Yeah, amazing.
And I just want to breathe.
Yes, I hear you. Honestly, you've hit so many nails on the head there. Here, Luke, I want you to go off as well and hear the naysayers that, you know, on Farker, by the way, new club record. Leeds have won 5 consecutive matches at the start of a calendar year for the first time in their history. Farkerball's rubbish. Let's get him gone. Oh, what about Spence? What about this? Give it them, mate. Feed it to them. Tell them, Luke.
All I'll say is I'll just chuck them receipts in, mate, because I'm ordered a few with Firpo, with Dan James, with Pascal Stroik, with Paddy Bamford, with Daniel Parker. All I'll say is, look, just believe, and let the people who get paid at the football club make the decisions, because they're what tonight's games are all about. Those when you're grinding out a win, then when on another day or in a previous season, we would have lost that game, quite simply put. We would have lost that game. It was a tough old night. Wednesday night, there was some tired legs out there. And one thing I am actually going to say, one thing that I've not actually criticised about Farke up until now was there was some tired legs, and I think we should have maybe made changes early. Now I completely understand why he didn't make changes, because the game was in the balance. They were getting a lot of possession. They were getting a bit happy. To bring somebody into that when things, when you don't know how the game's going to be played and to get up to speed, it takes a few minutes, and we probably couldn't risk that. We saw that with Dan James at half time. Jayden Anthony took a little bit of time to get into the game, albeit he did when he got into the game. Missed a great chance as well, by the way. But yeah, no, absolutely buzzing, mate. When you play, it's a sign of a good team when you're not playing all that great and not everybody's at the races, but the organisation was still there. We still didn't look out of sorts. We still looked a well-drilled, well-organised machine that knew everybody knew what they were doing. And to come away with 3 points, yeah, absolutely buzzing with it, mate. To be honest, and as Joe rightly says, there we could be looking back at that at the end of the season and saying that's what's got us promoted, or that's what's got us in the position we're in.
I know it's a bit early for it, but it feels a little bit Swansea, if that makes sense. It feels like a match where we weren't able to break through, and by the end of it, we just went, all right, behave, get your heads in the right place. Let's just score a fucking goal and win this match. And we did, and we defended quite well.
You know it's a big result when Joe Blackburn's dropping F-bombs. Trust me. You know
I like my monetization. This is your channel, not mine.
I'll take that from you, mate. Thank you. Nah, I'll have you know, I swear a lot, I'm still monetized. So swear, bro. Swear
That'll do.
Yeah, apart from Luke, he'll start saying CUNT and that. Calm down on Luke, because he'll go a bit mad. Andrea Scarson, mate, what a performance, man. It was. We knew it was going to be a tough game. And in the second half, for 15, 20 minutes, it was very hard. But we defended resolutely, man. And to be honest, we should have had a second because the referee blew up for an advantage that shouldn't have been. But talk to me, mate. We've got all 3 points. Happy days, right?
Absolutely, -2. Crucial 3 points. It was not an easy game. But I think today showed that we've found the balance in the team. The key word was sacrifice too towards the end. Maturity, because it was a very mature performance for me, especially considering that in the first 15 minutes of the second half, we were too deep in our own half. The players fought back, regained control of the middle of the park, regained control of the possession, and we returned to our old selves, the ones that we were in the first half, So I think if you look at it completely, it was one of the most complete performances on both ends today. And the key was probably to show that Archie Gray, because he was very good going forward and very good on the defensive end too. So absolutely happy days. Very good night to be a Leeds fan. And I think that togetherness, you can feel the togetherness now, not only in the group, but also between the team, the fans, everyone. Really, really, really happy. Really happy. Absolutely.
Huge, man. Huge. I want to talk. Huge. I want to talk about some sort of like moments, some individual performances. I think it's only fair, let's go from back to front. Let's talk about Archie Gray first. The reason I do that is because Sean says, Joy, I apologise for everything I said about Archie. For me, his best game for Leeds, coming of age performance. Let's talk about Archie. I mean, for me, we don't win that game if he doesn't make that challenge on Adam Idah. I thought the challenge was absolutely phenomenal. Like, it was unreal for him to stay on his feet. And someone talked to me about Archie. I've talked about him too much, man. He was freaking unreal.
His last 2 games, I think he's come of age even more. He's matured in the last 2 games even more than he could have done throughout the season. We saw him get turned inside out away at Preston on Boxing Day, and up against the same opposition against West Brom in the reverse fixture. He just learned so much. He looked like a different player when he was up against him, and we neutralised him. It was as good as the linesman was the winger. I forget his name. I keep forgetting his name.
Miller. Yeah,
Miller. It was pretty much a linesman. He didn't do anything. And then tonight, just tonight, it was just everywhere, wasn't it? It was just unreal, and he actually showed a lot more. I felt tonight going forward as well with the ball. He did. Yeah, so I would it was a man of the match performance for me. I don't know about anybody else. I thought he was by him or Firpo, in fairness, one of the fullbacks. But Archie Gray, mate, we don't understand what we've got on our hands there. I don't think.
Nah,
what
exactly. We're talking generational. Before we go back round, let me Lockie, thoughts, mate. Before, don't worry about Gray. You just tell me your initial thoughts.
You know
this
what,
wins
lads?
you 2 points now. 2 points from second.
Pressure. You know what? Honestly, I wasn't even that nervous for the sole reason that we've got Ampadu and Rutter at centre back, and they just head absolutely everything, and the cheer after they do it. I love it. We need that. We've missed that a bit. We've missed that, and them two together in that partnership at the back is just, it's unbelievable, isn't it? Yeah, like I said, there were times like that after half time when they had the ball for about 15 minutes. But even in that period, they had two crosses and had a shot which we blocked. I'm all right with that. I mean, it's nervous and boring, but it's what it is, isn't it? Yeah, buzzing, mate. Absolutely buzzing.
Yeah. Club record for Farke, I love that. Club record, first time in the history, 5 wins on the spin. 16 matches unbeaten now at Elland Road as well. Daniel James, 17 goals and assists combined, 17 G and A. And I listen, I'll hold my hands up. Apologies to Firpo tonight. Apologies to Dan James. Even Bamford again, that header. And you can tell Bamford's confidence is back. He's taking shots that he doesn't normally take. Yes, some of them you're like, oh God, but he's trying, and some of them will land. 11th championship clean sheet of the season, 4 goals in 5 appearances for Patrick Bamford this year, 4 consecutive championship wins. We are cooking on gas at the right moment, and there is no better man than you want for this running than Daniel Farke. Turn of the year, and Leeds United are cooking on gas, man. It's amazing. Luke, I'm going to come back to you on Firpo, mate, because you've sung his praises. We spoke about Archie. Talk to me about Firpo, because tonight, against a very good player in Johnny Rowe got subbed. Johnny Rowe got pocketed, and Firpo was unbelievable in that.
Yeah, he even switched sides and went over to Archie Gray to see if he had any look over there, and he was neutralised. So yeah, look, I'm a firm believer in giving people a chance, because even when we were poor in the Premier League, Junior Firpo still put out a couple of good performances that made me think. I didn't know much about him from his time at Barcelona or at Betis. I'll be honest, it was Betis, wasn't it? Before Barcelona. Yeah. Didn't know much about him. I'll be perfectly open and honest with you. But when he came, big expectation. We let Alios go. We brought in a Barcelona fullback, and I thought, right, great stuff. We're onto something here. Didn't obviously live up to the expectation, but I did see enough. And when I was in the stands, that's just his movement, and I just knew that once we were going to be on the attacking foot and we were going to be the alpha side in the majority of games, I just knew he could add a particular dimension to the attack, and he's shown that. Look, he was rusty when he came back from injury, even this season, and he was a little bit out of position and things like that, but he seems to have nipped that in the bud now. And his defensive stuff at West Brom, he put some fantastic blocks in tonight. He was faultless. I honestly think he was faultless. I don't remember him making, apart from the yellow card, which I would have done anyway.
Yeah. No, I think you bang on, mate. I think he was pretty faultless. He was, apart from maybe he should have had a goal, but outside of that, man, it was amazing.
As he usually is.
JT, I have to come to you, mate, because you've been saying this since about 2018, before he was even a Leeds United player.
I said it while he was in the womb, mate.
Yeah, man. Have your moment, mate. Tell us to have our cake and eat it, man.
Listen, you can have your cake and eat it, mate. To be fair, I didn't hear too much slander from you, but a lot of the other boys, every time I said the name Senior Firpo, I just hear a collective sigh, a collective, oh, God's sake. Even in the chat, man, everyone's always like, oh, here he goes again. But listen, I told you, once he gets that defensive part of his game right, once he gets that concentration going, he's a different animal. And I have to say, I think Byram has played very well at the beginning of the season, but I haven't seen him put a performance in like that. Firpo today was energetic. He was up and down that pitch like nobody's business. Usually his problem is he commits so much to the attack, and then going backwards, he doesn't have any energy. But today, he was back there. He was making vital interceptions, vital blocks, and he gambles on it. The reason he gets so many bookings is because he gambles on the challenges, and it was working. There was a couple of moments even where Rutter had a good attack, and it came from Firpo committing forward and making big challenges. And it's funny you say, I think it was Andrea saying, I think he'd work better as a wing back. He kind of was playing that way today, with the way that we were kind of pushing Gruev into centre back, and we kind of pushed Ampadu left back, and Joe Rodon right centre back, and you saw Firpo and Gray really pushed out high and wide. And I thought it just added so much more dimension to our game. It added so much unpredictability. I thought if I was going to level a criticism, the cross he put in when he got the ball from Somerville, if he lifted it a little bit with the cross, I think Rutter would have finished that from about 1 yard out. And the shot, he could have put a bit more power in. But otherwise, listen, I know you think I'm deluded when I speak about it half the time, but I don't think you'll find anybody that could criticize his performance today.
No, I just want to, Louis. Louis been a massive Firpo come for me every time, and I said to him, if he pockets Rodon, he has to create this, and this is what he's put on social media. So he's put him empty in his pockets, right? He's done this, but then this is the best bit. It's me and Firpo in the wallet, which I think's elite. So big up to Louis for that. Does anyone else want to talk about Firpo before we start to move around? Because I want to talk about so much.
I'll talk about him. It was a sorry, mate. It was a like I said at Betis. This is kind of how he was there, and the way they played wasn't necessarily exposed so much in terms of defensive abilities. So you can see what we saw in him and why we wanted to sign him and why Barcelona saw him. Right, this was the reason why. Because going forward, he's so. It's just effective and just constant. And like I said, he had a problem with fitness as well. I remember he used to get tired around 60th, 70th minute, didn't he? He's not got that now. He's got a run of form. He's fit. He's ready. He looks confident and he's playing really well.
Yeah. Go on, Joe.
I think part of the issue with Firpo for me is a lot of people immediately made an assumption about him based on his first sort of season at Leeds, and then he couldn't stay fit and he couldn't get into the team because of that failure to keep his body in good shape. But I think what a lot of people miss out on is for the 2 seasons before this one, 18 months of that he'd been coached by Jesse Marsh. And can you show me a single footballer in this team that looked good when they were coached by Jesse Marsh in defence?
Rodrigo. But outside of that,
In defence.
In defence, yeah. No defenders.
No one in the slightest. So then you've got Junior Firpo, who's been taught do some man marking, and then he's been taught by Jesse Marsh do narrow stuff. Yeah, and then you can see
was Jesse Marsh the manager in the game against Blackpool? I'm just confused.
Manager is a big word for what he was doing, isn't it?
Yeah, no, you're right, man. It is. Listen, I think, according to SofaScore, there's only Bamford that's got a higher rating than Junior tonight, to be fair. And that's another man. We will get there. We will have to talk about Bamford. Big up to Toby S, who's with the super chat. Alex Smith as well. Listen, I had 4,000 people watching on my watch along today. That's insane. It's the most I've ever had. Insane numbers. You don't have to clap, lads. You don't have to clap. Don't worry. Craig says, what a beautiful day. Win the next and the pressure will really be on the teams above us. Look, Rodon, Ampadu, just imperious. This is what I mean. Lockie, you touched on it, mate. You know, he's heading everything. There was one moment, right? A ball came in and like that. And he didn't even fall.
You can see his cheek.
Right, other defenders genuinely go down, hold the red, and the referee has to stop it. And someone came in, he just hit it and went, what? And then carried on, man. He was.
We're telling Dan James to get up when he got whacked in the face as well.
Exactly. Yeah, he was class. What about Gruyev? I was having a look. Just want to see what his passing accuracy was again. To be fair,
it's class again.
It's got to be 90 odd, hasn't it?
95. 95%.
It was 97 at half time. So. Yeah, absolutely vital. Key.
What
the balance. The balance.
They're effective passes as well, though.
They connect between the offense and the defense. Because we were 3, like JT pointed out. And it was vital to have Ampadu cover also on the side of Firpo, allowing Firpo to get forward and to play in that side of the pitch in a more offensive position, as well as Gray on the other side. And I think Gruyev and also Kamara, I have to say that too. When they were covering the center, we were not unbalanced. We were offensive, but not unbalanced. So absolutely, it was, for me, maybe it did a lot of obscure work, not glitter work, But I think he's up there with the man of the matches too. I think, for the way he played, absolutely.
Yeah. No, I agree. I thought it was phenomenal. Phenomenal. Let's talk about this man, because Mr. Dodo's hit the nail on the head. He was unreal tonight. Like Real. There was one where Firpo nicked the ball off Rowe, and then him and Rowe have gone for a collision, and Rutter just turned him, and Rowe was complaining to the ref. I was like, oh, he's just left you in the bin. There was one where he passed to Bamford through the legs of someone. I was just going, this guy, man, he's a cheat code at this level.
I'm going to go against the grain a little bit here. I thought, certainly when we were under the pressure, I think he had a good game. I'm not going to take that away from him. And I keep going back to this. We need an experienced centre attacking midfield, because when we were under pressure, he looked laboured and he didn't like chasing the ball. He didn't like moving around in that 10 spot. He looked a little bit tired, but he also did some stupid stuff as well when receiving the ball in our half when we were under that pressure, rather than relieving us. And I'm sorry to put it down because everyone's really positive, but
you definitely have, mate.
Rather than relieving the pressure and actually just taking the hit or playing the ball back, he was trying something wild and just losing possession, which again comes from experience. He's playing in an alien position. It's something new to him, and will all come with experience. But that's why I want somebody a little bit more seasoned, shall we say, to come in and actually maybe even help him with that role, but also to come on when we're under that level of pressure and actually just absorb a little bit of it and just play the easy pass, or just play it back all the way through back to Meslier, just to take that bit of pressure off us, because we were under the cosh for a good 20-30 minutes that second half. And we didn't get a touch of the ball, and I was watching Rutter specifically, and Paddy was doing all the running. He was just letting Paddy do all the running, and I thought, do you know what? You could take a little bit of pressure off him here, off Paddy, and you could see Paddy looking up, and he was just getting on with it unselfishly, was Paddy. But you could see him looking up as to say, "Where the fuck are you?" sort of thing.
Yeah, no, he did.
But other than that, look, as you say, absolutely class. He's going to go on and do absolute massive things if he continues with his trajectory. But yeah, just one thing that I noted from him when we were struggling, he doesn't really like it when we're not in control, I don't think.
And that's,
do you know what?
Just
to jump in, Lockie, and then I'll pass it to you. This is why I like doing this, because it gives a counter narrative. Because you are right, mate. You are right in what you're saying, and that's the difference, say, between him and Archie. I think where Archie already has that. Archie already has that maturity at the ripe old age of 17 to know when to do certain things, and you are right, and that's why when there's other people talking about Farker can't handle egos. Well, this is for moments like this. Luke's bang on, because that sort of stuff sometimes does need to be coached out. It does. There is certain moments where you can be tricky, and there's moments when you can't. And you've hit the nail on the head. Go on. Sorry, Lockie.
Yeah, I was following what you just said, basically. Yeah, and Farker said that in presses at times, and he's been criticised for saying, he needs to be more mature, and this is what he means. He doesn't mean in the final third he can do what he wants. I don't think he cares. That's his domain. You let him do that. He's talking about in these areas, and sometimes it works excellently. But I think there's times when there's kind of three around him. More centrally, out wide, he just knocks it around him and runs around off the pitch. But in central areas, there's times where just do a 1-2, for example, and find that space. But he's 21. I think we all forget that. Yeah. He's 21 years old.
He can be coached. I think it can be coached out, and that'll come with experience. Look, I don't for 1 minute think that he's anywhere near the finished article, and I still think it is his best position for us. I'm just saying that it was a little bit frustrating, especially when we didn't have possession of the ball, just to see him meandering around in the centre circle when Paddy's busting the fucking gut to get going side to side to try and cut the passing lane. So yeah, still had a fantastic game.
And that's something Somerville's improved, I think, that maturity on the ball.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
So give him time. I'm sure he will.
I would be a bit worried about the idea of coaching something out of someone, because part of the reason why he plays so well is that arrogance that he has, that you've seen drop down because of the confidence to laser around. Listen, I know what you mean. Sometimes he could be a bit
maybe a wrong choice.
There was a moment in the 93rd minute where he did a beautiful piece of skill, took it down the line, could have played a 1-2 of Bamford, instead tried to carry it on his run and lose it. Sometimes he can be frustrating, but then the other 8 times he does something magical. So is it a gamble I'm willing to pay off with him being in the 10? I think sometimes I am. I thought today he grew into it as the game went on, in my opinion. I thought near the end he really got into his own. There's a couple of moments around the halfway point where he would take on 2 players, but it's almost like Norwich kind of knew what they were doing. Usually every time he spins on the half turn, he'd send them all to the shops, but they had that third man always waiting back that would just nick it off him. But I think by the end, he really started to get into his stride, and I thought by the end he was causing them havoc. And I can't believe that it only ended 1-0 with some of the chances we were creating.
Made that right back doing the splits as well, didn't they?
Yeah, that was class. That was class. Yeah, JT, great point. Go on, Joe.
I think even then, with like Rutter when he's in the mood, when Norwich have to put 3 men on him, it just opens so much space in other places. And we know that, like, there was one point in, I think it was the second half, where Rutter is closed in by 2 or 3 players and he just belts it. And initially you're thinking he's just whacked it clear here. But for some reason, he has seen what the TV cameras haven't seen, what we haven't seen. Anthony, opposite side of the pitch, and it goes right to his feet. Yeah. Anthony didn't manage the touch, so it'll go down as like an inaccurate pass or something. But like, I think it's more decision making, because in terms of like technical ability, I don't think there's a single thing that he's got a big flaw with, other than finishing. That would be quite nice for him to be able to do a little bit better.
Yes. Yeah. There was go on, man.
No, I agree with what Joe said, honestly, because he still can improve on it, like the other said. But I think with those passes, it was good, honestly. Also in the first half, because there were moments in the first half where they were not pressing us, and I think it was vital to have Kamara and Rutter, and also Somerville, especially Somerville and Rutter, in the middle, carrying the ball and passing the ball to the other side. Also passing with Bamford and then making a cut into a space, because it helped us a lot. If you remember, in the early stages of the game, we had an opportunity to get into the box with Rutter, pass the ball, I think it was to Bamford, then sprint it into the box, and he didn't get the ball, but he did that many times in the first half. Didn't manage to do that in the second, unfortunately, because they were playing with higher position, Norwich, I mean. But I think with the pass that Joe pointed out, I think overall it was a good performance. But I agree also with Luke, and I think that the knock to Rodon, the knock to Archie Gray, and the knock to James, I think they still show that we need other options too, because this style of football is brilliant to watch. It's what we want to watch, because we have grown accustomed after Bielsa to this style of football, attacking football, but we still need other options, because fitness and knocks are part of the game, so we still need other options from the market in certain areas, key areas, 1 or 2 maybe.
100%.
I was going to say as well, Josh, really quickly.
Oh, mate. Yeah.
I'm just going to enjoy him, because I love players like that. And to be honest, once he in a top, if he finds his finishing and he improves that in a top league, and he does it for 1 season in the top league, he'll be at Madrid. So I'm going to enjoy him while he's still
I love that. Honestly. I love that. Do you know what as well? And we speak about this all the time, and it's important about, there was a lot of maybe annoyance with the Spence situation. I hate to go back to it, but the point is, like, Gio Rutter now is on Snapchat. You should be able to hear this, folks, if I just play it. Like Nonto there as well. Do you know what I mean? So it's great. Do you know what I mean? It's stuff like that, though, right? And Nonto's a part of that as well. You know what I mean? So it feels to me there is genuinely a proper group again. It's like we can fall in love with what we've got again. Do you know what I mean? And a lot of that has to come down to Daniel Farke. We speak about Firpo. I didn't know. I genuinely didn't think Firpo had this in his locker. I definitely didn't think James had it in his locker. We forget because he's gone off. His ball to Bamford was unbelievable. Even the upturning form of Bamford, he has to take a lot of credit for that. Do you know what I mean? Getting him to a level to say, right, now I can let him off. Do you know what I mean? So just all props to him. I just love it.
But do you still not think, because you talk about the Jed Spence situation and the good vibes in the squad and maybe losing a bad apple like Jed Spence, I believe that's kind of what you're leaning into.
100%.
For me, I think it's key that we replace him, though. Would you not agree?
Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying that.
I think we definitely need to add a couple of players to the squad. We could talk about 100%. It later, obviously, but
yeah. No, we do.
Archie Gray coming off, especially, I think definitely that 100%. Squad is getting quite thin.
And today a lot of people have been losing their minds because the Ben Godfrey thing wasn't even on in the first place anyway. But there has been a lot of people losing their minds, and my thing has been is the club at the time would have felt they can get through. They got through the weekend at the game. Everyone's come through fully fit. We don't need anyone yet. They've come to the midweek game. Now we've got injuries. James, great. Assess them. Right, we're going to make changes for the weekend anyway. So really between now and Bristol, we're probably going to need them additions. So these knocks will have now forced the hand. I think they've played it perfectly, but a lot of people are losing their minds, and I don't think we need to. Mark Collett, a member now for 6 months, says, didn't get to the games. Did James get injured? Yeah, James came off at half time. And who else? Gray towards the end had to come off as well. Big up to Zovic, who says, about time I became and joined a member. So big up to you, mate. And Leeds Hub says, Bamford redemption has truly begun. It has, mate. It has. It definitely has.
So someone needs to make a graphic of that cover of Red Dead Redemption with the Firpo, James, Bamford.
Yeah,
the Vanderling again, you know.
Don't steal my thumbnail idea for tomorrow. That's not on.
I love that.
Give it the game away, man. I'm making a video tonight, boy.
I love that. Does anyone else have anything to add? Like,
how long have you got?
Oh, really? You could just go on all night. Do you know what? Actually, Firpo's just been speaking to Radio Leeds, and Popey said to him, "Is this the best you're playing for Leeds right now?" He laughed and said, "It's probably the longest." So that's good as well. He's having a bit of crack. Yeah, talent jokes. Yeah, go on, sorry.
Firpo.
I'm surprised he didn't thank JT, honestly, in that interview.
Yeah, he should have, mate. Listen, I've been banging his drums for years, man. I've been basically sending Farker private messages telling him to get him in the squad, so he should be thanking me, you know. But at the end of the day, I'm thanking him that I can watch his world-class football week in, week out.
Yeah, I think it's just good to see generally all these players that the ones that were here last year that struggled to do anything. You know, Dan James was out of the picture. Junior couldn't stay fit and got destroyed. I know it's a different league, but the whole, you know, getting momentum and mentality, you've seen it when you go up. You know, you can carry momentum if you like we did on the Bielsa, you know, finished 9th in our first season. And you're seeing these players improve. Yeah. Rutter, Somerville was inconsistent, was good for a period, but inconsistent. You know, most of them, even Kamaru wasn't playing regularly for Rangers in his final season. Ampadu, you know, had no home really, was playing in Italy. Cape's come here now and he's looking unbelievably, like he loves it. And Rodon, you know, all these players who not kind of found a home, look like now they've got one.
You know, I feel like a proud dad, man, with this. Honestly, Archie Gray's trending in the United Kingdom, man, and everyone. Do you know what I mean? I told you all, man. he's mustard, man. He's unbelievable. I'm so
on
happy.
The Archie thing, I've noticed a really annoying trend that's happened when, like, a winger or a central midfielder tends to get annoyed and they sort of decide to lash out at someone. And for some reason, they always pick the literal child. It's always like the 17-year-old, and it's like, come on, you're a 34-year-old footballer. You can either manage your anger a little bit better or just not kick a kid. It feels a bit meaningless. And now he could miss we don't know how long because Adam Ida can't keep his shit together. It's a little bit annoying.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah, that would be pretty good, wouldn't it?
What's that, sorry?
Sign Rodon.
Oh, no.
Do it tomorrow.
I know. Tell me about it. Like,
I thought it was, to be fair, you know, I've come on this channel, I have to say, you know,
you said it was
Firpo and Bamford. I've criticised him. I'll hold my hands up. When we first signed him, I wasn't convinced. You know, getting sent off, red cards, almost own goals. I wasn't convinced, but I have to say, especially today, he was outstanding. And the past few months, he has just grown and matured, and he is a phenomenal player. Whether we need to press to sign him in this window, I don't necessarily think so. Because I think we'll have a chance. Mate, someone's on it that quickly.
They're on it. They don't mess about. They do not mess about.
Oh, my. That is a beautiful picture. That is got double Bamford. But yeah, the thing is, I don't think we need to rush to sign Rodon because the difference between him and Ben White, you know, Tottenham and Brighton, I no matter how well he plays, I don't see Rodon ever playing for Spurs again. Yeah. So I think if we do end up getting promoted, then I think it is on guaranteed that we will be able to sign him. But I just wanted to say, listen, I know I like to stick it in when I'm right with players, but when I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And he has been outstanding, man.
100%. I do just want to stick around to see what Farker and Wagner and that's got to say. But if you need to hop off at any point, folks, I understand it's a late one. Go on, Andrea. What were you going to say?
No, just a quick one from what we were talking about before. I think that earlier in the season, it was players adapting to the system Now also, and the example is Firpo, is the system adapting to the players, because we were not playing with 3 players at the back that wide, like Ampadu and Rodon are doing now with Greer dropping back. And that allowing it's a tactical adaptation for me, tactical adjustment in order to play Firpo in its natural with the nice natural style of football. And also, Rutter in the 10. We used to play him in the 9 and he dropped back with Pirot dropping back too, so we didn't have a number 9. Now we have Bamford, who play him to his best style of football, stretching the team, making running behinds, trying to creating the depth for the team, and allowing Rutter to drop back to play all around to free roam. So I think the change was also there, in the mentality from Farke. Understanding also that he needed to play certain players and adapting to the system to the best positions and best areas of the pitch that those players covered, I think.
Yeah, I just so there is sort of like balance as well. Big up Clive Owen, by the way. David has put a question into us and says, look, I want to question the timing of the subs. Had Farke replaced Gray earlier, he wouldn't be injured. But the injury was forced by another player, right? It wasn't as if he'd just fallen down. It was a kick from Idaho, I believe, right?
It's hindsight, innit? Do you know what I mean? We can sit here and if he hadn't got injured, said it was a great decision to leave him on the pitch and tackle Ida. Do you know what I mean? But these things happen. It's football, man. Do you know what I mean? Look, I think it's very important we do manage Archie Gray, but while he's playing as he is and how rock solid, he will know his body better than anybody else. I know he's only a young lad, and he'll be getting the advice from the right people. But they wouldn't force him to play. It wouldn't surprise him if he plays on Saturday. To be honest, it wouldn't surprise me if he's fit that he plays on Saturday.
In midfield, I think, and Shackleton at right back, probably.
So I think we've just got to trust the process, so to speak, on this one. And sorry, but I'm a firm believer that look, if you're good enough, you're old enough, and I think people keep telling me, look what happened, look how we ruined Byram, and look how we ruined Taylor, and look how we ruined other players. And
Lewis Cook got injured.
No 2 players are the same. He will know, and he will be mature enough to say, look, I think I need a rest, or his advisors will tell him to maybe have a chat with Farke. But he knows that if he says something like that, he might be out of the team. Then he might somebody else comes in as a banging performance. That's the risk you got to take, innit? So, albeit, I don't believe that that's the reason he got injured, because he was left on the field. Obviously, he got injured because he was on the field.
Yeah. No, I think that's
fair enough. What we're going to do when Strauch's back?
Oof. I don't think he gets in, bro.
I disagree. I think he gets in over Kamara, because especially if you look at the way we played today, if you look at the way we played today, where we had one of the midfielders, it was either Kamara or Gruev dropping in to make a back 3 with Rodon next to them. I think it would work perfectly with Strauch in that position. If you had a back 3 of Ampadu, Strauch, and Rodon, Ampadu, and Strauch in that position, and you had Kamara just sitting up, or not Kamara, sorry, Gruev sat in front of them, I think it would work perfectly. I don't see how Strauch wouldn't work in the system that we played today.
No, I'm not saying it wouldn't work, but I just think if you have basically what you're doing then, though, right, is putting Ampadu into midfield and Gruyev.
No. Ampadu is dropping. So like today, Ampadu was playing at the back. He was playing left centre back. So I would play Struijk in the left centre back position he was playing, and I would have Ampadu sat in the centre, and I would have Gruev just in front. Because what you saw sometimes, the way we were playing, you saw Gruev dropping into the middle part, and you had Rodon and Ampadu either side, and it was kind of 3 at the back. I think if that 3 at the back, instead of having Gruev in there with them, is Struijk, and then Gruev just in front, and you drop Kamara, I think that works very well.
But then I think Gruev playing too further forward in that. You're losing a midfielder because Gruev is playing almost too far forward where Kamara is. That if Kamara's to come out at any point, it has to be for Gray. Outside of that, we can't have Kamara and Gruev and Ampadu. They're too similar.
They do the same,
they do the same job. Yeah, that's my opinion anyway. But
no, it's fair.
I think it's going to be.
I think in the regular system, I think you're right. The only reason I say it would work is the way we played 3 at the back today, and if Ampadu.
But we do that anyway, bro.
I know, but it was especially poignant today with the way that we pushed the wing back so far forward.
Yeah. Maybe that's something, Farker, we're after a centre back. If they're high quality, he might play over back three. It might be something.
Like if you look at Godfrey, if these links to Godfrey are right, though, right? Like I would imagine he would come in for Archie.
If you brought a caliber like that, he's playing, right? And the question is, well, where and who do you drop? So maybe he does play that free.
Yeah. That's why we still need, because you have Gray at right back, and the only player you have in midfield capable of getting forward and playing box to box is Kamara right now, because Gray and Ampler are too similar, and you can either play one of them for me. Otherwise, you lose some sharpness going forward, and you are too defensive-minded for me. So that's why I agree with what Luke said before. We still need a creative midfielder to have in the squad as an option from the bench, honestly. One that can either play as a backup for Rutter in the 10 or as a backup 8 for Kamara for me.
I know it's unorthodox, and maybe you say it's a bit weird. Could you not potentially put Sammy Byram out on the right and put Gray in the midfield? Could that not potentially? I know because Gray's been playing very well.
Dropping though then at that point?
Probably Kamara.
Why do you want to drop Kamara? Can I ask?
I don't want to drop Kamara. I'm just saying if you're going to put Gray in, you're not going to drop Gray. You're going to drop Kamara, aren't you?
But then you're light. No, but then the problem is that you're light at the right back position because you just have Byram and maybe Shackleton adapting to the position. For me, so
of course you can always drop Gray in though. I'm not saying Gray will never play right back.
Why do you hate Kamara, JT?
Sounds like it. It definitely sounds like you hate Kamara.
Sorry, I love Kamara. I thought again he had a very good game today. But
you love Kamara except for all the time he spends on the pitch. That's annoying a little bit.
I hate Kamara, but I'd rather play Paddy in midfield than him.
Yeah, he's an interesting one for you.
Hey, I'd put Baroka in that position. That's what I would do.
Funny man. I almost feel bad, but Firpo said it's the happiest I've ever been. He mentions his upturning form and says the criticism hurts you, it gets your confidence down, but we have a good team, good human beings, and they're helping me. I almost feel bad now for saying
he probably watches you every week going, please, not today, Joe. Not today.
He also said I wanted to give a shout out to Joe Wayman after this week.
Mate, I've already tweeted my apology and said I'm sorry, Junior.
like the Shaquille O'Neal meme. I owe you an apology, and I wasn't familiar with your game.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely. It looks like Farker's not going to be coming anytime soon, folks, and we've already been on 43
Does what he wants, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does what he wants.
He's earned it. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Any final thoughts before? Oh, I'll tell you what, let's do man of the matches. Luke, we'll start with you. Who's your man of the match?
It'd be a flip of a coin between the two fullbacks, but based on expectation to his actual performances and the massive turnaround, Junior Firpo for me.
Fair enough. Joe Blackburn?
I'm going to go Firpo as well, just because he was unlucky to not assist a bicycle kick for Patrick Bamford, and that would have been just spectacular. Yeah. The internet would have melted if they would have linked up like that.
Oh, mate, it was unreal. It was unreal. Listen, I love Archie, but he'll get many more man of the match shouts from me, so I'm going to give it Junior, because I owe him an apology, so big up Junior. Andrea?
Felicitaciones para el señor Firpo, but I'm going to say Archie Gray today, honestly. He's here, he's there, he's every... I'm not going to say the word.
Bloody well.
You don't get the monetized, but yeah.
Archie Gray. Shouts. Yeah, there's a lot of shouts for Rodon as well. Sometimes you just go under the radar a bit, but Lockie will come to you.
You just said him, Joe Rodon. Just love him.
Oh, there you go.
I just feel so... Ball goes in behind or to his head or in front of him. He's just there all the time.
Yeah,
he's unbelievable.
Definitely have to throw the kitchen sink at him in the summer if we get promoted for sure. Go on, JT. We'll let you finish because...
Yeah, I'll give my man of the match to Kamara, to be honest with you. No, listen, I want to give a shout out to Bamford because the header, the way he got the power, the ball was coming away from him with that header there. I don't know if you spoke about it. I did just want to say for 30 seconds, the way the ball, because it's easy to head the ball when you've got the power and you're just guiding it. But the fact he headed it back across the direction, the way he got the power, even though he's stepping back, phenomenal. I had him geared on for it because, again, I thought he had a good game. I thought he had a very good game, but I can't look past Firpo, man. Cannot look past him. Easy
100%. I agree.
Is that a 4-for-1 Firpo? Can I knee slide now? Can I do the
Yeah,
Jose
do it,
Mourinho?
man. Do one. Justin says best chant of the night was you've now seen Firpo F off home at Elland Road. I love that. Listen, folks. I mean, win next Friday in the league. We're in the top 2. Might not last forever, but even still, that puts a different pressure. Looking at February as well, I'm trying not to get ahead of myself, but we've got Bristol City, Rotherham at home, Swansea away, Plymouth away, and then Leicester at home. It's a decent run. It's a decent run. I can't lie to you. So maybe, just maybe, the league's not done yet. You never know. You never.
We're out of the top 2 race, apparently, Joe. So,
Yeah, no, true. Yeah, according to Saint statistics, now that Leeds are done, we'll move on. But yes, thumbnail for tomorrow, indeed, Joe. Get it on. Listen, folks. Amazing numbers on the watch along and tonight on this show. I do want you to go on over and check Ought to Know Better for Luke. Make sure you check out Joe Blackburn, who's been doing some amazing transfer stuff this window as well. So make sure you check out that. Andrea on Twitter, Lockie at Lockie Leeds as well, doing a lot of player profiles and stuff. And of course, JT at JT Live. And yeah, I think we'll leave it there. I'm knackered now, but I won't be able to. The mad thing is, I'm knackered, but I won't be able to sleep. You lay there like that. My body's tired, but
But my brain won't stop just running back that match in my head.
What did you lie there like, Joe?
I've got a quick question, Joe, for you. Did this win feel more valuable than the win at the weekend?
The reaction from the players for me was
to get in even winning the last minute with a penalty. It still felt more important tonight for me. I don't know why.
I did. Like Norwich, since the turn of the year, mate, have drawn against Southampton 1 apiece. They've beat West Brom and they've beat Hull City. They're 3 teams that are at the top. Norwich fans got giddy. They were talking about, we're going to beat them. Johnny Rose, the best winger in the league. It's going to be a long night for Byram. He didn't even fucking play. Yeah, exactly.
My mate's just tweeted he's from Norfolk and he's got a Norfolk Whites flag and he takes it to all the games. He had it in the South Stand tonight, so he's got Norfolk Whites to all the Norwich fans. He's travelled up probably on the same bus.
I love it. Honestly, amazing. We could stay all night. Still, no mention of Farker. So, David Wagner spoke, and unlike Ryan Law, has said, superb with Leeds United. Massively impressed with Leeds United. So fair play. No, spoil. What is it? Crying over spilt milk like Rowe did. So fair play. No, not Rowe. Low. I've got Rowe on the brain, haven't I?
It's a low blow, mate. It's a low blow.
Yeah,
and Gray's got Rowe in the pocket.
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. Right, we're going to leave it there. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you check out everyone else's channel. And final word tomorrow night and all that sort of stuff. Peace out, folks. Bye-bye now.